Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we start. Good morning, everyone. Hope I am audible loud and clear. So we'll start the RM, Research Methodology and IPR. So RM will have it can have syllabus scope. Okay. It's taking time to say this syllabus scope. Okay, let it be. It will have 6 units and it will have a theory paper, but as your examinations are online, probably right now we can say it is online. So it will have 50 questions, MCQ questions. In RN, we are going to cover research and research methodologies and intellectual property rights, IPR related syllabus. So we start with the unit number one. Unit number one
Sir, आवाज येत नाहीये सर.
okay, just a minute. Is it audible right now? I'm sharing screen also. Is it visible and am I audible right now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the first unit is research methods, where we will see some basic concepts and some terms, definitions. First of all, we'll go for the definition of research. So, what is research? Research is nothing but it is a scientific way of answering questions and testing hypotheses. So, research is nothing but it is a scientific way to answer if any question is there, if any problem is there. Then there is a way, scientific way to give a solution to the problem or answer to the question. The way in which the answer is given is a research. It is also the scientific way of testing hypothesis. Anybody knows what is meant by hypothesis? Hypothesis is a kind of assumption which we prove that this assumption becomes true. And we test this hypothesis and declare or we prove that the hypothesis was right. And the way we do that, again, it is a scientific way. So it is called a research. Assumption, for example, as environment is cloudy, it is bit humidity and warm is there. So there are chances that rain will be there. So this is the hypothesis. So this is the assumption. Assumption that indicates that as there are clouds, the environment is warm little bit, and humidity is also there, so which will create the suitable environment for rain, and we predict, we assume that there will be a rain. So this is the hypothesis, and when we prove that due to this kind of environment, this kind of situation, there is a rain by a scientific way, then it is also called as a research. There is a question. Question is that if our basics are very clear, then definitely we will be an expert in the subject. Are we? So this is the question. So we answer research proves that if your basics are right, definitely you will be a expert in that particular subject. So the basics of that particular subject, if you are very good at it. So we prove this. The way we prove the way we answer, that should be a way, a scientific way, and this kind of scientific way of answering questions or testing hypothesis is called a research. Where these questions are there, so questions can be anything. The problem, day to day life, we face a problem, right? So these problems we put it in a specific way, and we can say that it is a problem statement. So these are the questions which we answer systematically. We prove our answer. This is considered as a research. So research is a scientific way of answering questions and testing hypotheses. Hypotheses are kind of statements or assumptions, and we prove that these assumptions are right or wrong. But probably we prove that it is a right. So we test these assumptions using the research method or research. One more definition of research is it is a systematic and objective analysis and recording of controlled observations. So research is a systematic and objective analysis. For example, if for a particular methodology, we prove that these are the objectives, then we analyze it and we record all the observations regarding each single objective when we do an experimentation. Why for? What for? Which may lead to the development of generalizations. If any general statements be given regarding that, then we can lead this. to develop such generalizations, principles, or theories, or resulting in prediction and possible control of events. So when we say that a plus b is equal to c, we prove that a plus b, why it is c. And when we proving for each statement, we record all those observations, how we are proving, and which comes for developing a good solution can become principle. We can apply a theories, and we can predict, and we prove that these predictions are correct. But when we do all these things, all these actions, events, we record all those. That's why we say recording of controlled observations. And we prove each objective which we have stated is correct. And when we are doing this, we apply scientific and systematic way. That is also research. It depends. Sometimes the generalizations are there, sometimes principles are there, sometimes theories are there, sometimes there will be predictions. Everything will not include in a single problem. That's why we cover everything. So if we apply to the generalizations, statements, hypotheses, to principles, theories, some regarding accurate, we can say machines or processes, efficiencies, everywhere we can apply. And when we do this systematically, it is called as a research. Now, research says that if, for example, to understand, if you take current scenario, if you are not washing your hands, you can say frequently, if you are not wearing masks, if you are not keeping social distances, 6 feet and 10 feet, whatever they have defined, definitely there are chances that you may get affected by the COVID-19 virus. So this is a, we can say, prediction. We prove that we take 100 people, we take 100 people, we divide these 100 people into two groups. One group is following everything. They wear a mask whenever they go or touch, they wash their hands regularly, they take all the care. If they are going in social places, they keep the distance 6 feet, 10 feet. Use sanitizers. Use we can say all those rules which we are defined. One group, all 50 people, and second group is not following. They are not wearing masks. They are not washing hands. And then we, at the end, or through our system, we check everybody's COVID-19 test. Definitely, we can say that based on the observation that if one group which is not following will have a higher number of positive people, and one group is which is following don't have a higher group of positive numbers, then we can prove that the people who are not following rules and regulations regarding COVID-19, definitely they can get affected by the virus. So we made a prediction, we made a statement, we made a generalization, we made a principle that if you are not following washing of hands, wearing mask and social distances, definitely you are going to get affected. So this was my hypothesis, I can say, assumption, no? And I have proved that by taking samples, data, test samples. I tested, I have observed all this, which develop a generalization, resulting in a prediction. And when I am doing, I have applied control of events. So this I can say the research. Hope you understand now the example. So when I'm saying that if you're not following, you are going to get affected, I will prove that by taking some samples. One a group of sample will follow all the rules. One group of sample will not follow all the rules. Definitely, when we test, the group which is not following rules definitely will have a higher number of affected people. So this is how the analysis is done. Then there is a scientific definition of research, which says that scientific research may be defined as a systematic, control, empirical, and critical investigation of hypothetical propositions about the presumed relations among observed phenomena. Systematic, controlled, empirical. Anybody knows empirical phenomena, or empirical investigations, empirical research. Empirical, we can say only the meaning of empirical word is observations or experience. Based on that, we create a pure logic. We can say scientific research is defined as systematic, controlled, empirical, based on some experiences, observations, and critical. Critical investigations, that critical means, suppose A plus B is equal to C. We criticize that A plus B is not equal to C. And if we are wrong, definitely the previous statement becomes correct. And if we are right, then previous statement becomes wrong. So this kind of investigations of hypothetical prepositions. Hypothetical, we have shown that they were assumptions. Regarding those assumptions which we have converted in formulas, we make a systematic, controlled, empirical research, and we come up with the observed phenomena. Observed phenomena means the results. Whatever, when we do experiment, when we do processes, we observe what happens. Suppose there is apple, and I am continuously putting the pressure of weights. I am increasing weight, 50 gram, 100 gram, 200 gram, 250 gram, 500 gram, 1 kg, 2 kg, 3 kg. What will happen? The object which we are keeping on the apple, if apple can digest a particular kind of a pressure weight, if it goes beyond that limit, it will get cracked, it will get suppressed, right? So when we do this, these are the controlled events. We are going to put weights and we are increasing it, so such a way. So how much it can bear, and below the threshold, it goes below the particular value, it goes, definitely it will going to get cracked. Just a simple example answer. So we can use this systematic, controlled, empirical, critical investigation of hypothetical propositions, and we can come up with the results. So we have observed after a particular weight, if we increase that, it has cracked. These are the observed phenomena. These are the results. These are the relations between the variables which we have considered. Okay, we understood what is meant by research. Why do we do this? Objectives of the research. The purpose of the research is to discover answers to the application of scientific procedures. So we apply research. Pure basic purpose is to discover answers, to find the answers through the application of scientific procedures. So we are saying scientific way. If somebody say comes and say that, yeah, tomorrow the Earth is going to crash, all human beings are going to die, and nothing happens tomorrow, day after tomorrow, or after 1 year or so, nothing happens. So we can say that the person has just made a statement. It is not as a base, don't have any evidences, right? So we do research to prove the evidences, to give the evidences about anything. And the purpose of the research is to discover the answers through a scientific procedures, through the application of scientific procedures. To gain a familiarity with phenomenon, the things which are happening, actual results. Today environment is like this. So actual it is a phenomenon. So to gain familiarity with the phenomenon or to achieve a new insights means to look into the things, and we can use explanations or experimentations. So we can use exploratory or formulative research, the kind of this things, to gain familiarity with the phenomenon or to achieve new insights into this kind of research is called as exploratory and formulative research. So this is the objective, to get familiar, to know it. We say that if we do meditation for 1 hour, definitely we will be a good person. Our concentration levels will increase. Our thinking analytical mind will get developed. And if we do meditation and if we apply, we can say any field we try to achieve the heights, go to the top, definitely meditation will help, right? But how to do the meditation? So I want to get familiar. I want to learn. I want to uh, go to that 5, 10, 8, 15, 20 minutes meditation program. I want to see that. I want to experience that. And I want to get insight into the meditation program so that I can increase my levels. I can increase my efficiency. So this is the objective. So this is the objective of a research. I want to experience it. I want to know it. If somebody is saying by meditation, I've doing meditation for 1 hour and I'm the richest person of the world right now. I want to know that how meditation helps, right? I'm just giving an example. Don't take personally. Otherwise, you will say that from tomorrow onwards we will do meditation and we get fast. Yeah, definitely it can happen. But just I want to give an example. Second objective: portray accurately the characteristics of a particular individual or a situation or a group. This is named as a descriptive research. We describe. There are books on Adolf Hitler, right? There are books on Mahatma Gandhi. There are books on APJ Abdul Kalam. The authors who have written, they have studied they have studied the characteristics of those particular individuals. This is I'm talking about the example individuals. This there can be a situation where some people take a decision, and we want to prove that why such kind of decisions are taken, on which basis or group. So we define the characteristics. If Mahatma Gandhi was like this, APJ Kalam was like this, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam was like this, or Adolf Hitler was like this, why they are like this? So we explain, we elaborate, we give answers. So there is a question: why Mahatma Gandhi is called as a father of the nation? So we give explanations what he did, why is it that. So these explanations indicate that this is a research. So we are giving answers to the question. This kind of research comes or called as descriptive research. We have seen exploratory, formulative research, and second one is descriptive research. Next objective is to determine the frequency, to determine the frequency with which something occurs or with which it is associated with something else. As I said, if a person, a patient, analyzed cancer, so we try to identify what is the depth, what is the level of that cancer. how much it is going to affect the entire body of that person. So we determine, try to identify. Now, current situation we will talk. There is a one more disease which is happening due to the COVID, mucormycosis, something like that. It's a kind of a bacteria which get generated, and we can observe the results for 2 3 minutes. So we determine how much frequency it has. If it goes beyond the level, we have to operate it. So there are operations, or there is a treatment which is followed, right? So we identify how much the frequency with something which is occurring, or any event is occurring, or how much it is associated with something else. So this kind of research is called as a diagnostic. It is not only related to medical field. Remember, we can diagnose anything. We can diagnose how much kind of environment is there, how much clouds are there, why their color is important, how much wind is there, the pressure, how much kind of environment could whether it is cool, medium, warm. We can all observe all this. And based on some figures, we can say that this much rain is possible in Mahabaleshwar or Cherrapunji. These are the places where most rain happens. Probably, if we compare other parts of India, so we diagnose it, we determine the frequency, why there is high rain, how much it is. It is calculated in millimeters or something like that, right? 4, 1, 2, 700 millimeters rain happens in Cherrapunji or Mahabaleshwar. So these are the two places where most or maximum rain observed. So this is a diagnostic research which has proofs, which has evidences, right? So these are the objectives to get familiar, so that we can say it is a exploratory or formulative research. We want to define characteristics or situation or a group of people, why it is so like that. So it is a descriptive research. We want to determine the frequency with which something occurs, something uh, get done or events are occurring. It is a diagnostic kind of research. We test hypothesis of a causal relationship between variables, cause effect kind of a. So we test hypothesis of causal relationship. If we add H2 and if we add O, what is the effect? Anybody will give me answer out of present people. If I add H2 and if I add O, what is the effect? Hope you are there. Yes. Anybody will answer me? Are you listening? Yes, students. Are you there?
Yes, sir.
Petrali. Yes, sir. Yeah. Hope you are listening, huh? Otherwise, there is no point in the teaching. Else, we'll reduce the lectures, at least for our subject. Hope you are listening properly and you are concentrating on it, whatever things we explain. Okay, so my question was, if I add H2 and if I add in H2 the O, what will be the effect? The composition will be H2O, no? What is mean by H2O? This composition is called as. Remember, I'm weak in chemistry, but still, this is the basic thing. H2O is a water, no? intentionally I'm giving this example. So to test a hypothesis, to create, so I can say that to create one kind of a thing, I need other parts. And if I add in particular as a in measurement, definitely the result will be this kind of. So this is a cause. Addition of H2 and O is a cause, and the effect is we get H2O combination. So this is a hypothesis testing kind of research. Hypothesis, one assumption. So the hypothesis is that two molecules of hydrogen and one molecule of oxygen will create a drop of water, H2O, right? So we test this hypothesis and we define the cause and the effect between the particular, we can say items, elements, or variables. So this is a hypothesis testing research. If we take too many particles of hydrogen and only single O, definitely the effect will not be the same, right? So this kind of objectives are there where we want to gain familiarity, we want to define the characteristics, we want to define a situation or learn from the situation or a group, descriptive research, formulative research, exploratory research. We want to determine how much frequency with which something occurs. So it is a diagnostic kind of research. We want to test hypothesis like causal relationship between the variables, atoms, elements. So this is hypothesis testing. So these are the objective of the research, right? So research is a process of collecting, analyzing, interpreting information to answer questions. This is the simple thing. So research is nothing but it is a process of collecting information, analyzing information, interpreting information so that we can answer a particular question or questions. Not only this much, but again, this process must have certain way. It should have a controlled way. It should have a systematic way. It should have certain characteristics. What are those characteristics of research? We'll study in next lecture. I think this much is enough for today. We'll stop here. We have seen different definitions of research to understand the concept of research. Then we have seen what are the objectives of the research, why we should go for the research. Right. So this much we have seen. The characteristics of research we will see in next lecture. So we'll stop here. I think just now somebody joined. We'll stop here. If any questions are there, you can ask from your side. If no questions, then we'll stop here. We'll end the meeting. Thank you for joining. Stay safe. Take care. Wish you a good day. You can leave. Thank you. Thank you very much.